All right, today we're jumping into a modern ghost story that, let me tell you, is so much more than just a haunting. It's a really powerful tale about greed, about grief, and about what a mother truly considers her most precious treasure.
You know, every great ghost story, at its core, has a human heart. It's not really about the strange noises in the dark or the shadows you think you see. It's about real tragedy, real loss, and the kind of unfinished business that chains a spirit to one single place.
And the human tragedy at the center of this story? Well, it gets sparked by one simple, very powerful idea: the promise of finding a hidden treasure.
So our story kicks off in this picture-perfect little village called Poonpur. But even in this peaceful place, there's one building that casts this long, dark shadow over everyone. It's a huge old mansion, what's known as a Haveli. And look, the fear around this place is super specific. This isn't just some vague, spooky old house. The villagers whisper about this one terrifying entity, an old woman with stark white hair. And it's more than just a rumor. A couple of guys got caught in a nasty hailstorm and ran inside for shelter, only to come running out screaming after they saw her. That story basically cemented the legend for the entire village.
Now, into this little world of superstition and genuine fear, four outsiders show up. A guy named Rajiv, his wife Ria, and his two brothers, Raman and Prem. They just waltz into town claiming the Haveli belongs to them, and they completely laugh off all the local legends as just silly village gossip.
And right here, you see the huge clash of worlds. For the villagers, the Haveli is a source of real, honest-to-goodness terror. But for these newcomers, it's just real estate. To them, a ghost story isn't scary. It's a marketing angle, a spooky backdrop for their Instagram photos. Their greed is just on a completely different wavelength from the village's deep-seated fear.
So when they finally go inside and confront this mysterious old woman, she doesn't threaten them or act like a ghost at all. Instead, she says this. She claims she's not haunting the place. She's guarding something. And it all comes down to that single word, treasure. The second they hear it, a switch just flips. Their whole plan changes. It's not about selling the property anymore. Oh no. Now it's about finding that hidden fortune for themselves.
You know, their greed, it's almost contagious. The next day, they actually come back with over 100 villagers who they've promised to cut of the findings to. So after hours and hours of searching, they finally find a hidden cellar, and inside, a big, heavy iron chest. So you have to wonder, what could possibly be inside?
Okay, so this is it. This is the moment of discovery, the point where this story turns from, a fun little treasure hunt into something much, much darker. With this whole crowd watching, they manage to pry open the heavy lid. They're all expecting a fortune, right? But what they find, it's not gold. There are no glittering gems, no piles of ancient coins, nothing like that. Inside the chest lies the tiny, tiny skeleton of an infant. The treasure hunt is over. The horror has just begun. As the whole crowd just recoils in absolute shock, the old woman, and we finally learn her name is Gauri, she just starts to weep, and then she tells them the horrifying story behind her so-called treasure. See, years and years ago, Gauri was a young, happy wife living in this very mansion. She thought her home was a paradise, but that paradise absolutely shattered the moment she gave birth. And why? Because she had a daughter. This quote from her father-in-law just captures the unbelievable cruelty she was up against. Her own husband refused to even look at their baby girl. Gauri basically became an outcast in her own home, all for the crime of not having a son.
And the cruelty just escalated with horrifying speed. It wasn't just them ignoring her. Desperate for a son, Gauri's husband was told by some mystic that he had to sacrifice his daughter. And he did it. He took his own infant child into the basement and murdered her. When Gauri found out, can you imagine? Her grief just turned into this white-hot rage. She grabbed a knife and she killed her husband, her father-in-law, and two servants who did nothing to stop him. And then she gently placed her baby's body in that iron chest, her only real treasure, right before the ceiling collapsed, sealing her secret away for decades.
So after hearing this absolutely devastating story, how does Rajiv react? With pure disgust. He yells, "These are just bones and rotting memories," and then he kicks the chest. This one final, awful act of disrespect just unleashes all of Gauri's protective, maternal fury.
But that moment of violence, strangely enough,
It sets off a chain of events that leads not to more horror, but to a really surprising and, well, a deeply moving ending.
So Gowri, now totally enraged, runs deeper into the Haveli, and the newcomers chase after her, only to start falling into a series of traps she must have set years ago. We're talking hidden pits, rooms filled with rats. In the middle of all this chaos, Rajiv calls the police, thinking they'll come and arrest Gowri, but the whole plan just backfires spectacularly. When the cops ask to see proof of ownership, well, the four of them have nothing. Their entire scam is exposed right then and there.
And this is where the whole community starts to heal. The four imposters are arrested and taken away. The villagers, now that they understand the depth of this tragedy, give the infant's remains a proper, respectful funeral. Gowri, who can finally let go of decades of pain, is taken to a facility where she can get the care she needs. And the Haveli itself, a place that held so much sorrow, is finally ready for a new beginning.
And what the community does next is just remarkable. They don't tear the mansion down or let it rot away. Instead, they do this one single powerful thing. The place where a daughter was murdered becomes a school, a place dedicated to giving a new generation of daughters hope and a future.
And this is really the heart of it all. A plaque is placed outside, naming the school after Gowri, in memory of a mother. The story ends not with a ghost, but with the legacy. And it really makes you ask, what's the true value of a treasure? Is it gold and jewels, or is it something else, like memory, justice, and the chance to build a better future out of the ruins of the past?